Now this is our sixth session. Last meeting, we finished the examination for a non-professional driver's license. Before going to the next topic, I would like to finish the second part, which is the examination for a professional driver's license. What is the difference between these two? For the non-professional exam, it is 1 to 40 items. Whereas for the professional exam, it is 1 to 50 items. So these are just additional questions. Like before, I will just read the question, think about your answer, and we will give the correct answer, and I will explain the answer. Because mostly, for the professional questions, they are more on the practical side. They are so practical that you can use them in your day-to-day driving problem. This is the first additional question. How do you park your car on a downgrade position? If you remember last meeting, for the non-professional question, it was how do you park your vehicle on an uphill position? But now it is downhill. Paano daw pinaparada yung kotse pagpababa ang kalsada? Okay? Letter A, set the handrails and turn front wheels away from the curb. Ganyan daw. Letter B, set the handrails and turn front wheels toward the curb. Ganyan daw. Letter C, any direction will do. What do you think is the correct answer? Letter B is one. Yeah. Why? Observe. If you park your car downhill and you put your tires on a straight position like this, the moment the handbrake misses or the gear misses, by force of gravity, the car will go down straight, crashing the vehicle parked in front of you. But if the tires are facing the gutter, yes, it will go down. But the tendency is not to go straight, the tires will be crashing against the gutter, so you can prevent accident. That is the correct way to park your car on a downhill position. Next. What is the most common cause of excessive steering play? Yeah. So it's about your car. What is the most common cause of excessive steering play? The important term here is steering play. What is this steering play? This is your steering wheel. Okay? So they are talking about the steering wheel. When we say steering play, if I turn the steering wheel to the left, what happens to the tire? They follow. Okay? So when we say steering play, if I turn the steering wheel to the left, kailan sumasama ang gulong? Kailan sumasama? The allowable steering play of any good condition car is only 1 inch. That is maximum. Meaning, 1 inch after turning the steering wheel, you should see the tires swerving. If your car is brand new, there is no play at all. Meaning, even only for 1 centimeter turn, as soon as you move the steering wheel, you can see the tires swerving. That is a good car. But the question now is, there is an excessive steering play. Meaning, kinanyan mo na hindi pa sumama. Pangalawa, hindi pa rin sumasama. It's only the third time that you swerve that you see the tires swerving. The allowable steering play is only 1 inch. The steering play of your car is 1 foot. How can you make that car straight? Observe, when you drive. It's so easy to drive vehicles at present because konting galaw mo lang ng manubela, naitutuwid mo na. Now, if the steering play of your car is 1 foot, just to make that car straight, every time you drink, ganyan ka dapat ang manubela. Can you imagine that? That's a very dangerous car to drive. If that is the condition of your car, maybe you are not even driving a car. So the question now is, bakit daw maluwag ang manubela? How come there is an excessive steering play? What is the problem of your car? Letter A, misaligned wheels. Hindi daw naka-align ng gulong. Letter B, worn out steering gear and steering sector. Letter C, worn out tie rod end. The correct answer is letter B, worn out steering gear and steering sector. Where is that? Now let's say this is your steering wheel. That is the base of your steering wheel. At the end portion, there is a big box. The whole box, we call it steering box. Where is that? This one. You can see that there. That is the steering box. That is the main mechanism of your steering wheel. This is the one giving you the direction. Now the whole box, we call it the steering box. But inside that steering box, there are many parts. And the more prominent one is the steering sector. Parang pare na yan. We have the steering worm. We have the steering gear. The whole box is defective. Now, if you destroy the steering box assembly and you want to replace the same, how much do you think it will cost you? An ordinary car, any Corolla car or a Lancer box type car, to replace this ordinary box, the steering box, it will cost you around 10,000 pesos. If your car is a late model 1, which is equipped with power steering, yung magkano mo nobela, just to replace the whole assembly, it will cost you 15,000 pesos. So it's expensive to destroy the steering box assembly. But don't worry, if your car is brand new, and you check this regularly, and you are not a reckless driver, it will take around 2 to 3 years before you destroy the steering box assembly. Now, if you are not a careful driver, and you don't maintain this properly, maybe in 1 or 2 years' time, you can easily destroy the steering box assembly, costing from 10,000 to 15,000 pesos. Like in our case, yung mga kotse pinapagamit namin sa inyo, taon-taon wasak ang steering box assembly. We have to replace them every year. That is expected because these cars are being used by student drivers. So knowing fully well, it will cost you from 10,000 to 15,000 pesos to destroy and to replace the steering box assembly. Then in your case, as a driver and car owner at the same time, how can you maintain this? How can you extend the lifespan of this steering box? So that naibenta mo na dapat, hindi pa nasisira. Is that possible? Yes, if you know how. One, how can you maintain this? As far as maintenance is concerned, there is only one. Always see to it that the whole box is full of gear oil. Like your motor engine, every now and then, you check the oil stick to determine whether there is enough motor oil or not. The same thing is true with your steering box assembly. Every time you go to the gasoline station, every time you have your car service, meaning washing, greasing, change oil, add gear oil, you always demand to the gasoline mechanic to put gear oil inside the steering box. You are not paying additional fee for that. It is part of the service, so you might as well demand for it. Now, in your case, if you are just a new driver, even if you open the hood, you look around the engine, you don't see this. This is not visible. It is hidden behind the engine. So sometimes, you don't even bother to check it. Dahil nakatago siya. But now, na-lecture na natin yan. You know something is down there, which is a very important part of your car, which is the steering wheel. Dapat you check this regularly. And you cannot do it alone, because to put your oil here, there's a big nut there. Yun ang nut. There. You have to remove that nut. Papatakan mo unti-unti yan. You cannot easily do that. But in the gasoline station, they will raise the car. They have this pressurized hose. They will just remove the nut. Puno na ng gear oil yan. It takes only a few minutes to do that. Now, if your car is a late model or a brand new one, which is equipped with power steering, they are not using gear oil there. We are using special kind of oil. We call it power steering oil. It costs 75 pesos per 1/4 liter. It's so easy to check that. It's so easy to put power steering oil. How? The moment you open the hood like that, beside the engine, there's a small plastic container. It's a transparent container. You just open the cap and then you put power steering oil. Karamihan ng kotse ngayon, power steering na sila. That's all the maintenance. See to it that the power steering box is always full of oil. But one thing that can really destroy the steering box assembly is the way you drive your car. The moment you are a reckless driver. When is that? You know, the moment you become a driver, only then you realize whether the government is really using the taxes for your advantage. In most developed countries, everywhere you go, all roads are properly maintained. Even a small street, they are either properly asphalted, fully, or cemented. But in the Philippines, you will be shocked. Sometimes at the middle of the city, the hole is bigger than your car. Ang lalaki ng mga butas. So you are driving at night, you are racing your car, running 60, 80, 100 kilometers per hour. And then suddenly, you notice, there is a big hole right in front of you. The question now is, how to negotiate the hole? Now, if you see the hole beforehand, there is enough time for you to slow down, raise your speed up to the minimum, go around, avoid the hole completely, just to protect your vehicle. Now, if the hole is so wide, you cannot avoid it completely. Another way to treat that is, you stop the car completely before the hole, and then you start all over again from the first gear. You release the clutch slowly, 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 so that when you go inside this hole, it will not be sudden down like that, but you just roll over the hole. Dapat dahan-dahan nahuhulog sa mga butas na yan just to protect your middle worth of vehicle. Kaya observe, the moment the road is not in good condition, there is always traffic congestion. Because everybody is trying to avoid all these potholes. If you are a professional driver, you can easily do that. There are several ways to treat all these holes. But in your case, you are just a new driver. One of your weaknesses is calculation. Sometimes, you don't even know where the tires are located. Whenever I teach students how to drive, and I can see a pothole right in front of us, of course, as a driving instructor, I have to warn the student, oh, may butas yan, may butas, hila, hila, hila. Shoot, lalong ma-shoot. Your intention is to avoid, but the more you go inside this hole, kung palaging bumabagsak ang gulong mo sa mga big holes nito, what do you expect? You are not only destroying the tire, the mag wheels, the alignment, the suspension, much more the steering box assembly. So the moment you become a driver, always avoid roads that are not properly maintained. Even if you have to make a long detour just to avoid this rough road, do it. Next. Whenever you do the maneuvering, in your driving lessons, this is the most difficult lesson. You know, whenever we teach you how to drive, we have to follow all the lessons as prescribed by the LTO. First lesson, start and stop. We will teach you how to start, how to shift, how to move that car. And then, backing. And then, hanging, climbing up the hilly place. And then, maneuvering. What is this maneuvering? Let's say this is your car. You are driving along this area. And then you notice there is a sign here, do not enter, road under construction. You cannot pass through. So you have to go back. If this is a wide space, like imagine Santo Domingo Avenue, it's a wide road. You can just make a U-turn like that. In one turn, you can do it completely. However, if the road is not as wide as Santo Domingo, it's a narrow road, you cannot make it in one turn. So you have to turn several times. You have to maneuver. Meaning, coming from here, you go around, stop. You go backward, stop. Forward, backward, forward, backward. Until you can make a complete turn. Papawisan kang malapit dito. And this is where you can really appreciate driving this power steering vehicle. It's so easy to turn the steering wheel. But if you are driving an old car, it is not power steering, lahat. Yung lalabas lahat ang gat mo dyan. Now, if you are a professional driver, it's so easy to do this. But in your case, you are just a new driver, you are not yet in control with the car. Most often, it's the car that's controlling you. Coming from here, todo sa kaliwa, boom, pinangga mo ron. If you keep on crashing the turns against the gutter, what do you expect? You will surely destroy the steering box assembly. So please, whenever you go around, whenever you maneuver, please do not crash the tires against the gutter. So you will not be destroying the steering box assembly. Next, whenever you make a complete turn, all the way to the left, all the way to the left. Now, the moment after swerving it to the left all the way, tumigil na yung manubela. That's it. Huwag na pinipilit pa. Wala na nga ang pinipilit. Kahit pinipilit mo pa, masisira ito. The moment you make a complete turn and the car stop, that's it. Do not force it to, sige pa, wala na nga eh. If you keep on doing that, you will destroy the steering box assembly. And lastly, whenever you are involved in an accident, especially head-on collision, one of the things that you damage is the steering box. Kaya nga, whenever you buy second-hand car, which our next topic, how to buy a second-hand vehicle. When you test drive this vehicle, one of the things that you check is the steering wheel. From the outside, you hold the steering wheel like that, and then you look at the tires. Be sure, a little turn of the steering wheel, you can see the tires moving like that. Now, kung ginaganyan mo na, hindi pa gumagalaw ang gulong, do not buy that car. Something is wrong with the power steering wheel. There is an excessive steering play. If you decide to buy that car, to replace that, it will cost you from 10,000 to 15,000 pesos. Next, back to the steering wheel. You know, as you realize now, all these questions were made so that every day that you drive your car, you can really see, you can feel whether your car is in tip-top condition or not. So you are driving along the highway, driving straight, and then you notice the steering wheel has a tendency to pull to one side. What is the problem of that car? The steering wheel has a tendency to pull to one side. You know, whenever you drive your car, you try it. You run from 60, 80, 100 kilometers per hour on a flat, straight, cemented road. While running straight, leave the steering wheel alone. Observe, a good car keeps on running straight. It takes around 2 to 3 posts of the Miracle before the car will slightly swerve to the left or to the right, depending upon the wear and tear of the road. That is a good car. While running straight, kahit nabitawan mo yung manubela, diretso pa rin siya. When you left your garage, that is the condition. After driving for several kilometers, while running straight, nangamot ka lang, bumili ko. You cannot even live, swerving to the left side. What is the problem of that car? Letter A, uneven tire pressure. Letter C, faulty clutch. Letter C, over speeding. The answer is letter A, uneven tire pressure. What is the meaning of that? Okay, let's say this is your car. These are the back tires. right tire, left side. These are the front tires. Right tire, left tire. The tire pressure on the right side is 30. The tire pressure on the left side is 20. Saan pupunta yan? Left or right? Now, what is inside your tire? Air. If you used to remember in high school subject where they asked you to define, to memorize many things, what are the characteristics of air? Air is colorless, odorless, tasteless. Diba? Meron bang weight ang air? Meron yan. Pupunta yan sa left. Because you are losing air at the left tire. Napaplat ka. Sumisingaw siya. So the tendency for that left tire is to go down. So it's swerving to the left side. So what you do? You go to the nearest gasoline station. You know, you observe. When you go to the station, you just don't go there to buy gasoline or fuel. If you look at the wall of that station, you can see air and water station. Yeah. So if you need water for your radiator, it's there, free. Now if you need tire pressure, there, that's the air. So you stop there for a few minutes, you get their gauge and then balance the pressure. Make it 30, make it even, 30-30. So it's now even. So even if you leave the car alone, it keeps on running straight. So diretso na. After driving for several kilometers, it's again swerving to the left side. That's another sign. You are losing air at the left tire. Then adding air is not enough. Something is wrong with the tire. There is a hole. So you better go to the vulcanizing shop, not to the station, which is only a temporary remedy. Instead of stopping every now and then, just tire pressure on the left side, which is useless anyway, you go to the nearest vulcanizing shop. Have it vulcanized or fixed permanently. Intersection driving. How to drive along the intersection, which is also a problem with you as a student driver. It's not easy for you to be crossing all these intersections. Okay. You are driving towards an intersection in which you decide to make a left turn. But another car is coming from the opposite lane. If you are the driver, you should. You want to turn left, you cannot because there is an approaching car. Ano daw ang gagawin mo? Letter A, speed up, keep on signal, and turn in front of the approaching car. Letter B, pull down the signal light, stop before the intersection, and then wait. Turn only after the approaching car has safely passed. Letter C, turn to the next intersection na lang. May dumating na mamaya na lang. That is what you do if you are a new driver. The moment na siya complete, nakakatakot mamaya na rin tayo ko. Kaya masaya ka na nakarating. What is the answer? Letter B. Pull down the signal light, stop before the intersection, and then wait. And turn only after the approaching car has safely passed. Why? If you remember our lesson last meeting, the rules of right of way. We discussed that in detail. One of the many rules that in intersection driving, whether in any kind of turn, whether it's left turn, right turn, or U-turn, the rule is you are always through stop. It is not your right of way. It is the right of way for all those vehicles driving straight. Next. The next question is a very important question, but a little bit scary. Nakakatakot ito. I hope hindi kayo matatakot. Sometimes, whenever I discuss this lesson, I'm not sure whether I will discuss this openly or I will just hide the problem. But we have to discuss this because this is really a driving problem. What is the question? You are driving along the highway. You are running 100 kilometers per hour, meaning you are running fast. And then suddenly, your front tire blows out. Sumabog ang gulong mo. Yan. If you are the driver, you should. So you are running straight, you are running 100 kilometers per hour along the highway, and then suddenly your front tire, left side, blows out. If you suffer a sudden blowout, what will happen? The tire will suddenly swerve to the direction of the front tire. Bing! Ganyan yan. If there's an approaching vehicle coming from the opposite side, you will surely crash. And sometimes you can never tell what you will do in case of an emergency like this. The worst thing that can happen to you along the highway is suffering a sudden blowout. Like 3 years ago, there was a case along the coastal road. Imagine the coastal road going to Cavite. There was a gasoline tanker carrying full tank gasoline, running fast along the coastal road. Suffered a sudden blowout. Sumabog yan. Swerving swerve to the left side, crossing all the vehicles at the other side of the road. Sumabog lahat yan. 14 persons died on the spot. What is because? Sudden blowout. 10 years ago, the former congressman of Pampanga, the old Bondo, coming from Congress, going to Pampanga, driving this Nissan Patrol, they suffered a sudden blow along the North Expressway. Suddenly, the Nissan Patrol swerved to the left side, crashing against that Meralco tower, that electric tower post. He died on the spot. What is the cause? Sudden blowout. So, knowing the danger of this kind of problem, in your case, you are just a newly learned driver. How can you control the car in case of sudden blowout? The problem with this sudden blowout is, since you are running 100, and then suddenly, without any warning sign, that the car will just ping! Ganyan yan. So the normal reaction of an ordinary driver, the moment the car is swerving to the left side, the tendency, you apply the brake. If you do that, what happens? Babalik na ng kotse. Magte-turn-turn yan. It's more dangerous. So you have to be careful in handling this problem. What is the correct procedure? Number 1 rule. In case of sudden blowout, do not apply the brake. That is the last thing you do. Don't apply the brake to avoid turn-turn. Although the tendency is to apply the brake, ang ganito na lang. Huwag mo nang binababa. Because the correct procedure is just release the gasoline pedal. No gas only. The moment you realize the car is suddenly swerving to the left side, no gas. That's the first defense. No gas. Do not apply the brake to avoid turn-turn. Just release the gasoline pedal. Next rule. Since suddenly the car swerve to the left like that, what will happen to the steering wheel? It will suddenly swerve to the left also. So the tendency for the driver now is, you want to make it straight. Even if you are a bionic man, a strong man, no way that you can go against the direction of the steering wheel. It's too heavy for you to control that. You might even break your arms. So second rule, in case of sudden blowout, first rule, do not apply the brake, just release the gasoline pedal. Second rule, do not go against the direction of the steering wheel. What you can do, you just hold the wheel tight like that, do not go against, you follow, but do it slowly. Instead of sudden swerve like that, you hold it tight, you control the movement, but you follow the direction. Now, suppose the car is now going to the left side. Suddenly, you are now approaching a deep ravine. May bangin dyan. Now, if the car voluntarily stopped before reaching the deep ravine, you are lucky. Now, suppose the car stopped between the road and the ravine. pag ganyan-ganyan siya, alam nga siya mahulog, yan. And you are inside that car, you are still lucky.